Don't need it. Let's put it in your collar. Hey everyone, this is Julie and Bambi, obviously, and it is our 1-year anniversary since Bambi was rescued. So I wanted to take this opportunity, and I can't believe it's been a year. It's unbelievable. What are you doing? I want to take this opportunity to tell you all about Bambi, because a lot of you ask questions in the comments about her foot, about her breed, about her age, about her cuteness and smartness. So I'm going to tell you all about Bambi and how she's rescued. So if you've heard this story before, you know, we're just reiterating it for you then. So Bambi's probably 2.5 years old. I really don't know because I rescued her off the side of a road in Tennessee. Before I tell you about that, I just want to let you know it was kind of magical because before I rescued this dog, I had lost my other dog, Pie dog, ouch, who died suddenly on December 31st, 2017. So 2018 started without Pie, and it was also 2 weeks before I was giving up on Asheville, North Carolina, which I had been in for 1.5 years. And I was giving up on it and going to South Carolina for the rest of the winter and then on a big cross-country trip is what I was hoping. And now I didn't have Pie dog. Here's a picture of Pie. Wait, it's very windy out here. She was a chow mix. And that's her being cute on Folly Beach, South Carolina. So, you know, so when I finally got up and started driving west, it was alone, and I was like, you know, doing hikes alone, and like driving alone, waking up alone, like mainly the hikes really sucked because she wasn't there. And the way I got Bambi was, I was in Tennessee, and I had taken Highway 64 instead of 40 because Bonnaroo was happening, and it was a Thursday, June 8th, 2018. And there was a lot of traffic on the main highway for everybody going to the festival. And I wanted to take 64 anyway. I had been on 64, hadn't I? Yes, I had already started along 64. Anyway, I was on Highway 64, and I had just done a video, too, showing you all the farmlands. And I had just stopped the video when there I am driving about 60 miles an hour. And all of a sudden, there's 2 dogs crossing the highway right in front of me. There was a big furry black dog, and then this dog, who was about half the size that she is now. This little scruffy dog limping. So the other dog was making it across the road, but she was slower and she was limping. And in an instant, I had to decide, you know, I had to swerve. And I was thinking later, had I swerved to the right, I would have hit them. But I swerved to the left. And this was in the G20, the 93 G20. And I swerved really quick and missed them. And then I, you know, put on the brakes and went to the right and pulled over on the side of the highway. And it was like, oh my God. And previous to this, I had been watching dog rescue videos for at least 1.5 years, 2.5 years before Pie left. And I had this dream about becoming a dog rescuer. And so as soon as this happened and I pulled the van over, I was like, oh my God, there's 2 stray dogs. I actually went from the front of the van to the side door, opened it up and sat there and caught my breath. And I noticed there were 2 farmers sitting on their front porch of their property. And I leaned up and I said, hey, do you know whose dog? What's up with these dogs? And they said, I think they're strays. There's a lot of strays around here. People drop their dogs off here and they're just running around. And I was like, oh my God. So I sat there thinking, am I going to rescue a dog today? Here I am on this cross-country trip, coming back to California after 26 years away. And I'm without my good dog. And here are these 2 dogs who obviously need help. So I think about it for about a quarter of a minute, and I go, of course I'm going to help these dogs. And I run and get a leash and a collar and some treats and a water bowl and some water. And I ran over to where this other lady had stopped, and she was looking at the dogs. She had seen the dogs cross the road. And I had to like go over this field sort of, and I went over to her, and I noticed this little dog is sitting there across the road. Not the one she had crossed, but it was a four-way. So she's across now this part of the road, and she's sitting there going like this. Sort of like a little bit walking back and forth and poking her head up. And the other black dog has moved along, and he stops and he looks back at her like, come on. And she doesn't come. She looks at him and stays, and then looks at me and the lady. And I get over to the lady, and as soon as I get over to the lady, Bambi dog starts crossing the road with her head down. And I go, come here, girl, come here, girl. And she comes right to me. And so I put a collar right on her, give her a treat, and give her some water. So there I had her in my hand, and the lady was like a little bit shocked, but here I had it in my mind that I might rescue this dog. So I sort of drag her into the shade of a tree because it's like 95 degrees, Tennessee, June 8th. It was pretty hot. It was a really hot day, in fact. And these were just farmlands. It was just farmlands and a highway going through it. So you hear these two dogs out of nowhere. So that's where the video starts that I have up on my channel about Bambi's rescue. And it's called, I Rescued a Dog Along Highway 64. So you can watch that as well as 4 other videos from that day, the events of the day of Bambi's rescue. But at that point, I started telling the lady that I would either rescue this dog, that I was rescuing her, and I'd either bring her to the shelter or I would keep her for my... So the first thing we did was get her into the van after she cooled down in the shade. Get her into the van. And we started driving around looking for the other dog, the black dog. Then we got out of the van and started hiking around looking for the black dog. Bambi also had, she had obviously just had puppies. And I didn't know how long ago it was that she had had those puppies. If they were around somewhere or not. So yeah, we just spent several hours walking around, driving around, up and down the streets, walking through fields, going into bushes. I sort of said, girl, show me your puppies if you have them. Let's see. And we looked all day for puppies. We looked all day for the other dog. And I went around and knocked on doors to see if anybody knew this dog or the other dog. If they were owned by anybody. And then we went to the dog shelter. This is Bambi when she sees another dog right now. Especially a little one. So, and while I was trying to get Bambi to show me puppies or the other dog, find the other dog, at one point she rolled in the dead body of another dog that had been abandoned on the side of the same highway. I went back to the farmer's house and I hosed her down with their hose. I washed her because she had just rolled around in the dead body of another dog. It was horrible. So these dogs are just abandoned on the side of the road because people think, oh, it's farmland, we'll just let them run free. So the other thing I did is we went to the local gas station and we sat out in front and asked every person if they knew this dog or anything about this dog. And one guy was like, there's just dogs running around here. You want that dog? You go ahead and take that dog. Shoot, I'll take that dog. If you don't take that dog, that looks like a good dog. And that's why I miss the South. So all day we spent doing that, and I wasn't sure whether I should take this dog. Oh, we went to the shelter, and that's where they told me she was a Belgian Malinois mix, which I didn't know what that meant at all. But I do now. It's a super high-energy dog, related to the German Shepherd, obviously. Military dogs, police dogs, bomb-sniffing dogs, that type of dog. Really super high energy, but she's a mix, probably with Rhodesian Ridgeback. But the whole day, and finally at the end of the day, I had to decide, am I just taking this dog with me on this cross-country trip? I don't know this dog. She doesn't know me. But I did. And at that point, she became my dog, Bambi. I didn't name her Bambi for another probably 7 days or so. Bambi, stay here. So the other thing is she got some shots at the shelter, but she wasn't spayed. And finally, we hit the road, and within like 10 minutes, a cop pulled us over and searched the van. In Tennessee, cannabis is not legal, and there was some in the van, but he didn't find it. We were lucky. The last thing I needed was to get stuck in Tennessee in court for 3 months doing community service or have like $1,000 fine or whatever it is in that state. Bambi, come. Come here right now. Come here. Come here. Come right by me. Sit down. There's been a lot of challenges with Bambi. You may have known that she had a pregnancy scare there. And at one point, so I brought her in for that and got her spayed. She's had rabies shots since then. But she's also had, it's been a challenge. Aggression with other dogs. Super high energy pulling. I've been dragged across the lawn. I still get injured on a regular basis. I smashed my toe into a mechanic's vehicle lift yesterday as she pulled towards the mechanic because she wants to be loved. She's probably just like a little codependent dog. Oh, there's another beautiful dog. Stay. So she does really well if I can stay focused on her. But it's been a year we've been working on all this stuff, and we did get to a point where she's been able to go to the dog park and have a great time with the dogs, but recently she got aggressive again. And she just builds up and builds up and builds up until she's just starting to herd them and go for their neck. Anyway, I think this video is at the limit, and this is the 1-year anniversary of Bambi's rescue from Highway 64 on June 8th, 2018, and here we are. Obviously, I'm keeping her unless the universe brings me a really good home for her. It is a challenge in a van to have a dog. I just recently did a video about that, so check it out. And I want to thank you all for watching our video here today, Bambi. You are a beautiful girl, and I love you. Happy anniversary, baby. Oh, by the way, the anniversary was yesterday, and I had a horrible day yesterday, so we had to do the video today.